let me start off by saying this. The Rockets had every chance to win the game today, but you missed 30-something three-pointers. James Harden ain't playing MVP form. I mean, hey, playing the Warriors. Even if the Warriors ain't playing that good to their best, most likely lose, and that's what happened, sadly. But another good Game 7 yesterday. Good Game 7 today. Good Game 7. Warriors came out on top. First half, Warriors were getting out-hustled. It seemed like the Rockets wanted it more. That was obvious if you was just watching the game. Offensive rebounds, all the hustle plays was going the Rockets' way. I mean, these offensive rebounds was leading to open threes for the Rockets. It was hitting them. Rockets, KD seemed like he just wasn't there. None of the Warriors players seemed like they were there. Honestly, that whole first half, seemed like they were asleep. Like, if they lost, they had another game to play. Now, granted, second half, they kind of woke up and started playing their ball and took over a little bit. But that first half, it was very frustrating. If you were a Warriors fan, I can understand why. They were turning the ball over, lazy with the ball, bad on defense. Especially if you're a Kevin Durant fan. The dude, he was playing soft, man. He was getting outworked. I remember a play. PJ Tucker just boxed him out, got the rebound right over him, man. I'm like, dude, KD, what are you doing? You like, this guy's some people number 1, number 2 player in the NBA, and you just wait for him to take over. You waiting for the takeover. Especially with Klay Thompson, who had to leave the game earlier with 3 fouls. You expected, all right, KD, it's your turn. Not even your turn. You the number 1 option. You supposed to been playing. So now it's definitely time to step up. And he never did that first half. So we just wondering, like, KD, what are you doing? What's going on? But like I said, the whole Warriors squad as a whole in the first half was playing kind of bad. But even with that, they were never really out of the game. And that was a blessing because they should have been getting blown out. But the Rockets weren't really shooting the ball that well, as we know. And the Rockets are a live by the 3 and die by the 3 type team. So if they not hitting, you got a chance to win. And sadly, today the Rockets weren't hitting from 3. So let me get to the stats. These Warriors, let's see what we got. Kevin Durant, 11 for 21, 5 for 11. 7 for 10, missed some free throws. But, happens to the best. 34 points. Like I said, second half, started to play better. Started to hit some tough shots like we know him to do. First half, I don't know who that was. That wasn't a former MVP. Second half, started to play a little better, turn up. Stephen Curry, same for him. Second half, he had his little spark. He had his moment where he turned up. Dropped a good 27 on him with 10 assists. Good double-double. Draymond, he even struggled in the first. He was turning the ball over. It just seemed like they was all out of sorts. Communication on defense was bad. Like I said, that whole first half was just not very Warriors-like and not used to what we're seeing. But this whole series, the Warriors were kind of playing sloppy, and their mistakes were fixable, very fixable, and they made it out of this series alive. Is it because of Chris Paul being hurt? We'll never know. Klay Thompson kind of got out of rhythm. 3 fouls first quarter, had to come out. The team out of rhythm, that could have affected that. But he came in later in the game, hit some shots. You know, he played good defense. Klay's a very good player, very good two-way player. Could be possibly next to KD the best defender on the team, if not the best defender on the team. But Klay Thompson gave you a nice 19. Like I said, granted, he only played 30 minutes because of the early foul trouble. So that was pretty good. Bench production, Nick Young. What did Nick Young have? 3, 1 for 1. Yeah, okay. Sean Livingston had an okay game. He do He usually normally do. Even though he was a negative 14, that probably because defensively he must have not been doing that good. Bale in for a little bit of time, not too much. So let's get into these Rockets. Trevor Ariza. Let me talk about Trevor Ariza. Retire. No, I'm playing with you, but Trevor Ariza, you can't be going. What's this? 0 for 12 from the field. 0 for 9 from 3 with 0 points in a game 7. Come on, man. That's just minus 15. That's just pathetic. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. That's really bad. On 42 minutes of playing time, 0 points, not even getting to the line. Did he get to the line? No free throw attempts. The man didn't even get to the line. I mean, so that was bad. My most impressive player from what I've seen today on the Rockets was P.J. Tucker. I mean, I always like P.J. Tucker. I like the energy he brings defensively. I like the 3-ball he brings offensively. I think he was playing hard all night. He wanted that W. You could tell he wanted, but sorry, that's not how the cookie crumbled today, you know. But Eric Gordon, I liked his game today, even though he went a good 9 for 22 and 2 for 12 from the 3. But I feel like I liked his game today. I feel like since Harden was kind of off and that third quarter, I feel like Harden was kind of non-existent. I feel like Gordon kind of picked up the slack. He was getting some buckets. But I give props to him, too. I feel like he kind of tried to do his best, especially with the Game 6. I feel like he also did very excellent. He did excellent in the absence of Chris Paul. I feel like he stepped up. But like I said, I mean, still went 2 for 12 from the 3. Sometimes the shot, it just ain't falling. And it wasn't falling for him. Clint Capella, 9 for 10. Man, alley-oops, dunks, layups. It's kind of his game. He did what he do. He played his role to as good as his ability. So nothing really different out of him. He did what he was supposed to do. So I don't really have any real complaints about him. The bench production, Gerald Green, 1 for 8, 1 for 4. I mean, Gerald Green as like a role player, if your team if the starters aren't really hitting, then I'm not surprised if bench players aren't hitting either. So Gerald Green going 1 for 8 is not really a surprise to me. If the Rockets was hot, he probably would have been hot. He probably would be 5 for 8, you know. 3 for 4 from the 3, but he was in line with the rest of the team, bad from the 3. And that led to the defeat, 101-92. Now, finals, 4 times the charm. Cavaliers, Warriors. I have the Warriors in 5, gentlemen's sweep. If they can get to 6, I'll be pretty impressed by the Cavaliers because with that team, no matter what LeBron says, I'm sorry, but with that team, I'm not counting on them to compete with this Warriors team. I mean, if we've learned anything from this Indiana and Celtic series, how can we expect more from them against the Warriors outside of LeBron? And LeBron ain't going to be able to play the whole game with no breaks every game. So who's going to step up? Is J.R. Smith maybe going to finally get some buckets? George Hill? Clarkson? Nance? Yeah, okay. But we'll see. What's the game? Thursday, game 1. Hopefully it's interesting. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully LeBron put on a show, carry the load again. See if he can pull it out. That'd be probably one of his most impressive finals victories if he can do it with this team. But I'm not expecting it. But until game 1.